Hello and welcome to episode 45 of the Made by Moomino podcast. My name is Catherine and this is a mostly knitting podcast, although I do occasionally talk about spinning and weaving. But this is where I talk about any projects that I'm working on, any test knits, that kind of thing. And today I've got some things to show you, I think some of which you will have seen before, especially if you've been following me for a while. But I'm really looking forward to showing you what I've got going on here. So yeah, I'm filming as usual from Mönchengladbach in Germany, which is kind of over on the west side of the country, in between Dusseldorf and the Dutch border. And I live here permanently with my partner because he's originally from this area. But I'm originally from Wales in the UK, and I try to get back home as much as possible. And I'm really looking forward to going home over Christmas. We're driving back in a month. Yeah, it's a month tomorrow. I'm so excited. So anyway, so welcome to you. And I've got a massive cup of tea today. I can't sort of go on without mentioning the enormous bucket of tea I've got here. We went Christmas shopping a couple of weeks ago and I saw this and it just had to come home with me. It's from Dylan Camille. And yeah, I've got a bucket of raspberry tea here today, which is just what I need. It's starting to get a little bit colder outside. So yeah, it's just what I need on a cold winter morning. So grab yourself something and we'll get stuck in straight away with my first finished object and what I'm wearing, which is my finished Kiruna cardigan. I'll put up a little video here of me wearing it. I'm so happy with this. It was a really big challenging knit for me. It's a test knit I did for MJ of Ellis Knitwear, who's a Dutch designer. And yeah, I was thrilled to get onto the test team for this. I've test knit for MJ a couple of times before, and she's just so lovely. And her patterns are really nicely written, and they usually sort of got some sort of new technique or something in there for me to get stuck into, which is, to be honest, why I do test knits, because I'm attracted to sort of a challenge and learning a new technique, and this one certainly had a few. So I'll just talk you through the pattern. To start off with, it's a really size inclusive pattern, so let me get this right. The sizes run from, there's 9 sizes that go from 105 centimetres to 185 centimetres, which is 74 inches. So it's a really nice size inclusive pattern. I'm knitting the 4th size. I went for a size that would give me 0 to maybe 1 or 2 centimetres of positive ease, just because I like a closer fitting garment. So the pattern is knit from the bottom up. So that's the first challenge. And my recommendation there, if you haven't tried it before, is you have to swatch to make sure that you're picking the right size. And luckily I managed to get gauge with the recommended needles, which were, so I get this right, 4 millimeters, so a US 6. And I got gauge by holding 2 yarns together, one of which was a DK, that's the darker colour, and the pink is a 4-ply weight yarn, so I held that double. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. So yes, the first challenge was the bottom up. So I did an alternating cable cast on to make sure I got a little bit of stretch there, and it worked really nicely, so I was very happy with that. The second challenge is that you knit this cardigan in the round and then cut it. So I've never done that before, and honestly I would definitely do it again. For me it was absolutely preferable to cut my knitting over trying to do colour work on the wrong side, which I don't really enjoy doing, and it worked really, really well. So I chose quite a woolly wool for this. In fact, let me show you the wool. So this is the darker colour. This is what I have left from 4 skeins of 100 grams. And this is from Woolen Twine. And it's her Shetland Black Welsh Mountain blend. And it was just a really beautiful custom blend. I bought this a couple of years ago and I was saving it for a really special project, and it just seemed like the right yarn to use for this. And it was a really nice choice, a really good choice. And yeah, it's just this beautiful, rich, chocolatey colour. And it's a very, very woolly wool. complete with my hair as well. So yeah, that was the main colour here. And then the other one, as you can see, is a much thinner yarn. And this is dyed using plant dyes. So the other one is a natural colour. And this is from Nellie and Eve. I'll show you the label. And this is British wool, 4-ply, 100 grams is 450 metres. And it looks like it's a 2-ply yarn. So yeah, I held this together and it's the colourway Raspberry. This beautiful plant dyed colour. It is gorgeous. So I had 3 skeins of this, 3 100 gram skeins. This is what I've got left. Oh, I didn't tell you the meterage of the other one, I do apologise. It was 230 metres per 100 grams. And as I said, that's what I've got left from 300 grams and 400 grams. So yeah, I was worried I was going to be playing yarn chicken, but I didn't. It was fine. I even used some other kind of matching yarn to do some of the other seaming and things that I needed to do, just in case. But as it turned out, I would have had plenty for the size that I knitted. So anyway, as I was saying, this is a cut piece of knitting. So I used a really, really woolly wool. And technically, you don't really need to do anything before you cut it if you use a nice woolly wool, because the stitches, they just sit there. Your knitting wants to unravel that way, not that way. So as long as you're not using a really slippery yarn or something like that, the stitches should stay in place nicely and allow you to pick up for button bands or whatever it is that you need to do. I actually reinforced mine just in case, because I was worried about it unravelling, because as I said, this is the first time I've ever cut my knitting. So I did a crochet chain up the inside of each of the sides of the button band and around the armholes, but I really don't think I needed to. Other people reinforce their knitting by using a sewing machine, so you can do a nice wide stitch running up the inside of where you're going to cut, just to keep the stitches in place. Or some people needle felt, and I've never tried that before, but I do fancy the idea of trying that. It seems like an interesting technique. So yeah, that's what I did with mine. I just did a crochet chain and then went for it and cut up the middle. If you have a look at my last video or on Instagram, you'll be able to see a little video of me doing that. Oh, incidentally, you can find me on social media as Moomino or Made by Moomino. All the links are down below, as everything I talk about. And also, I forgot to mention, I also put chapters in, so that if there's any bits you're not interested in, please feel free to skip through. So yes, after cutting, I then picked up the button bands and picked up the neck, knitted those, and then there was a little bit of seaming that had to be done before steeking actually. So the shoulders are joined together with a 3 needle bind off. And again, first time I'd done that, I found a good tutorial on Very Pink Knits and just quietly did it. And yeah, really, really happy with it. It creates a beautiful seam. It's really nice. In fact, give me 1 second. I'll take this off and then I'll show you properly. So the 3 needle bind off gives a, gosh, I can't even find the seam, gives a beautiful finish. It's a really, really neat and tidy seam. And again, definitely something that I would do again. It's a really, really nice technique. So yes, very, very happy with that. In the last video, I also showed a mistake that I made. So I made a mistake in my collar work and I did a little duplicate stitch to fix the mistake. Again, I can't even see where the mistake is unless you can feel a slight raised area just there where I made the mistake. But yeah, it's absolutely fine. So then after doing that, I picked up for the sleeves, and to be honest, that's mostly what I've been working on since the last episode, because I really needed to get this finished. The deadline for the test knits is on the 20th of November, and I just really wanted to get it done for then. I didn't want to let MJ down, and luckily I managed it. So yeah, the sleeves are picked up and then knit in the round, and the decreases happen underneath whilst knitting in pattern. And yeah, then the little ribbing is added on at the end, and there was a tubular bind off for that, which is lovely and stretchy. I can't tell you how happy I am with this. It just feels like such an achievement to have finished it on time, and it fits, and it just looks lovely, I think. So going back to the cut piece, in the arms you can see where I've cut my knitting. So you end up with this really neat little frayed edge that's not going anywhere because it's woolly wool. It's going to be absolutely fine, and the more I wear it, the more it'll sort of felt together and be really stable. I wasn't 100% happy with my ends though on the inside of the button band. So when you're making the bridge between the bits that you're going to cut, you should mix your yarn. Now, I didn't do it quite right to start off with. I should have alternated the colours in a different way. So I ended up at the end with some longer bits in the contrast colour, and I wasn't happy with the way it looked. So I added a little velvet ribbon to cover up the cut bits of my knitting. I must say, it feels gorgeous. So this bit was cut as well, so just here. So I put a little bit of ribbon on there to cover that as well. Now, when you do this, you're never going to get a completely smooth finish. The thing that you're putting on, ribbon or whatever, is not stretchy, whereas your knitting is. So you need to allow for that kind of stretch. So I've deliberately made a little bit sort of looser, so it looks slightly puckered, but there's not really any way around that. But I'm happy with it. So I did a long running stitch with a really short pickup. So the stitches on the inside, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Make sure I don't go and get that in my tea. The stitches on the inside are quite long, but then the gaps between the stitches are quite short so that you can't see the stitches on the outside of the knitting. And I'm really happy with the way it's turned out, to be honest. So the buttons that I've used are here, and they're quite heavy. I think I might actually take a couple of them off and put them on again because they're pulling on my knitting a little bit. And honestly, the only thing that I might change, and I could go back and fix it I suppose, is to do a double thickness button band, just because of the weight of the buttons that are on here. So knitting it double the length and then folding it over and whip stitching it down. I'm not sure I'm bothered enough to do that, but I could do that, and you might want to think about doing that if you make this pattern, but that's 100% optional. Again, the covering ribbon that I've done on the inside, for a traditionally cut project, this is not a traditional technique at all. This is just my personal choice to do this. I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. So yeah, I knit this exactly to pattern, other than I made the body 1 centimetre shorter than the pattern suggested. But other than that, it has turned out the exact dimensions that are laid out in the pattern, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. The pattern should be coming out quite soon, I think. As I said, the deadline is on the 20th of November, and I believe that MJ is aiming to get the pattern out quite quickly after that. And you have to have a look on Instagram and on Ravelry at the other testers' versions, because they're just gorgeous, and there's a variety of different colours and yarns and things. So yeah, I've used quite special yarn for this. Not exactly the best price point in the world, but yarn that I really enjoyed working with. But there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't use any DK woolly wool. Something Norwegian maybe, some Sadler's garn or something like that would work really well for this. So yeah, have a look and see what you fancy. But I really do recommend this pattern. It was lovely, and MJ is a pleasure to test knit for. She's really responsive, really supportive, and just, yeah, really an absolute pleasure to test knit for. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about this. If I think of anything else, editing Catherine will come back and add some stuff, but I think that's about it. Okay, the next thing to show you are the Njord fingering weight socks that I'm working on. I haven't finished them, which is really unlike me. Normally I get through socks really, really quickly, but I made a mistake. So this is the second sock. I should have got a sock blocker really, never mind. Have a look at the last episode if you want to see it looking beautiful. I finished this sock happy, marvellous, looks beautiful. And I don't know why I did it, but I started making these with a cabling needle. I have no idea why I did that. It's got a cable, or two cables, running down the front of the sock. It's a 1x2 cable. There was absolutely no need to use a cabling needle. I don't know why I did. And anyway, when I was on the train last week, I think it was, I realised I'd forgotten my cabling needle. So I thought, never mind, I'll just continue with cabling without a cabling needle, no problem. So I did that for about that much of the leg. And then I looked at it yesterday morning because I got down past the heel turn and everything, and I was going to finish the foot yesterday. And I suddenly realised that my tension was totally different in the cables when I wasn't using a cabling needle. So the sock yesterday was here, and I ripped it back to here to redo that little bit of cable. I sat there trying to ignore it for a good half an hour or so whilst doing a couple more of the pattern repeats, telling myself I didn't care. Of course I cared. It was really bugging me, so I ripped it back. I don't know if you find this as well when you're knitting. If you get that little voice in the back of your head that's saying that something's not right, listen to it, because you'll have much less to sort out if you don't ignore that voice and listen to it immediately. So yes, a day's knitting on this, and it's got it back to almost the same point as it was before I ripped it back. I did start to just fix the cable, so you can rip it. So if you go to the live stitches where the cable begins, you can ladder back down and redo the cable, but it's on a 2.25 needle. Yeah, 2.25 needle. It's only 3 stitches, and it was just so fiddly. And my little addled brain yesterday morning was just like, I don't have the headspace for this, so I just ripped it back. It was easier. But there's absolutely no reason why you can't fix a cable without doing that. It's absolutely possible, and I've done it before. But yeah, my brain yesterday wasn't having any of it. It was much easier just to rip back. So yes, this is an unfinished project. It's just to show you that I make mistakes, and I think that the biggest thing in knitting is learning how to spot and fix your mistakes. I've learned far more from the mistakes I've made than from any, perfectly executed projects. Yeah, so there we go. This yarn is gorgeous, by the way. It's from Het Volbeest. It's a fingering weight yarn called Old Leaves, and it's just a sock base. She's a reasonably local designer to me. Sorry, the weather is horrible outside, and it's really dark, even though it's not that early in the morning. So I apologise if there's any sort of issues with the light and things. As you can see, I've got candles and things around as well to try and make it feel all nice and cosy in here. So yes, this is her super sock base, and it's 125 meters per 100 grams, and it's 75% merino, 25% polyester, and it's just a really nice variegated yarn with lots of really pretty colours in there, called Old Leaves. She does make some lovely yarns, and I'm going to talk about her a little bit later on, a little bit more. So hopefully I'll get those finished this week, because I would like to make my partner another Musselburgh. Whenever we go to yarn shows or yarn shops and things, my partner usually picks out a skein of yarn that he likes to be made into yet another Musselburgh. And when I cast it on, after I finish these, I will do a video, a hints and tips and tricks, whatever, video for Musselburghs, because I've made so many of them over the years, and a couple of people asked for a video about it, so I will do that when I cast on the next one. And that's next in my handbag project after this is finished. The other project that I've been working steadily, furiously, yeah, I've been working furiously on it whenever I've had a spare moment, is a blanket. I'm almost there. This is my Habitation Throw from Helen Stewart, and I did show this to you in the last episode as well, but I am so close to finishing. If I hold this up for you, there we go. That's where I think I showed it to you last week here, last episode, sorry, here. So I've done the lion's share of the decrease section. I've just got one tiny little bit to go. I divided my yarn that I'm using in half, and that's what I've got left. So I'm almost there. I really, really want to finish this before this beginning of Advent, because I want to start a new blanket with my Advent yarn. So I'm desperately trying to get through this. I'm enjoying knitting on this so much. It's so soothing to knit on a garter stitch project. I'm really enjoying it. So Helen Stewart's patterns are lovely. They're really simple. This is, how can I show this to you? This starts from one corner with a little I-cord on either side. You do yarn overs every few rows, continue that I-cord up while increasing all the way, and then when you've got halfway through your yarn, you start decreasing. And it's not mindless, because you have to be aware if you're on the right side or the wrong side, and you have to do your yarn overs every now and again. But it's a really soothing project, and it was nice to do in between doing this, because I think by the time I get to the end of any project, I've kind of had enough of it. I want it to be finished. I'm looking forward to the end point, and that was the case with this. I'd had enough of doing colour work. So this was a nice little respite in between, and I'm almost there. And I can free up one of my big Christmas project bags for my next Advent project. This is made with yarn from Meadow Yarn. I treated myself, oh my goodness, I'm covered in floof. I treated myself to her midwinter box last year. I really wish that I'd been in time to get one this year from her as well, but I deliberately avoided it because I've just got so much yarn at the moment. But anyway, there were 3 beautiful skeins of toning yarn in there, and then my partner really kindly gifted me a Sherry Iris Christmas Eve box for Christmas last year, and that was the last skein that I showed you there. That was from Sherry Iris, and it's just a really gentle, beautiful colour change. I've made up my own kind of fade and just gradually introduced all the different yarns without really worrying about it too much, just doing what felt like the right thing to do at the time. I'm holding it with mohair. I had 2 skeins of Rowan Kid Silk Haze that I wanted to use in another project, but it didn't work, so I used that in here, and yeah, which has made it quite an expensive project, let's be honest. But you know, there we go. But now I'm using leftovers of mohair from other projects. What have I got here? Where is my mohair? There it is. So that's some leftovers from Enjoy Flowers, a test knit that I did for Knitting for Breakfast a few months ago. So I'm using that, and I've also got some bits of, I think this is Volnit Verva, and I've also got some Knitting for Olive. But yeah, I'm really bad at keeping the bands for mohair. So yeah, I've kind of got to guess what it is, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So hopefully I'll finish this week, and then I can have a little break from blankets before I start my new big blanket project. Gosh, try saying that after a couple of glasses of wine. Okay, the next project to show you. I'm so happy to get this out again. So there's a bit of backstory to this, why it wasn't finished last year. I made my partner, I tend to make my partner at least one jumper a year. And last year I made the Nightfall sweater for him from Maxim's Seer. He loves it. And I made it for him for Christmas. And halfway through Vlogmas last year, I realised that I'd made a really basic error. I had a rogue skein of yarn from a different dye lot, and there was a massive stripe where there was a colour change in the project. And I'd finished it, I'd bound it off. I hadn't looked at it properly in daylight, and then when it was blocking, I suddenly saw the colour change, and it was glaringly obvious. Well, to me anyway, it was glaringly obvious. If you want to see the sad video of me ripping it back, have a look at Vlogmas from last year. I think it's somewhere around day 7, day 8, something like that. It was a sad day, but anyway. So I was making this sweater last year for myself, the one I'm going to show you now. And that got put on hold because I really wanted to finish my partner's sweater ready for Christmas. It was his Christmas gift from me, and I couldn't not finish it. So this went into hibernation. I am making, or I started making last year, the Dala Sweater. How do I show this to you? I got this out this morning. I thought today is the day. I'm going to get this out again. I'm going to start working on it again. There we go, that's better. This is the Dala Sweater from Eleanor Mortensen. And it's got these beautiful little horses, little ponies around the yoke. It's a round yoke sweater. I do love Eleanor Mortensen's patterns. However, I must say this is not a size inclusive pattern. It's, I think when it was originally released, it was available in only 4 sizes, but now it's available in 7 sizes, and it goes up to 55 inches or 140 centimetres. So it's not a size inclusive pattern. Honestly, if I'd kind of realised that before I bought it many years ago when it first came out, I don't think I would have bought it, if I'm totally honest, because I don't really like to support patterns that aren't size inclusive. So yeah, anyway, did I even buy this? I think I may have asked for it as my free pattern after I did a test knit for her. I think I may have done. Anyway, whatever, I would have chosen a different pattern. But it is what it is. So I am knitting this on, I've lost my notes now. Yeah, 3.5mm needles, which is, what is that in US sizes? US 4. And it's a gorgeous pattern. I mean, look at that. They're just really, really cute. And I really wanted this ready for Christmas last year, but you know, it is what it is. So this pattern, let me just double check, because it's been a while since I've looked at this pattern. Where is it? Yeah, this is for a fingering weight. What is it for fingering weight? Is that right? Yeah, this is for a fingering weight yarn. But I'm using Nutiden held with mohair for this. Now, Nutiden is, I love Nutiden yarn, but I'm so conflicted about it. It's beautiful. Let me just show you how it comes. Let me show you a plate, a bit of a plate. Nutiden is an unspun yarn, which means that it's kind of pre-yarn. It's what yarn looks like before it's put through the mill again to ply it. And I love working with unspun yarn. It's really satisfying, very easy to split, splice, to rejoin. Again, that can be challenging because it can break fairly easily. But I love that this is made by a small producer in Sweden, that it's really thoughtfully made with natural dyes and just from a small production, which I absolutely love. However, on the other side of that, once a colour is gone, it's gone. The carbon footprint for me isn't great because I'm not ordering it from within the country that I live in. It's not a local yarn to me, but it's more about the sort of the small dye runs, and then once it's gone, which I'm very conflicted about it. The price point is pretty good, and you can get a lot out of it. So this sweater here, when it's finished, will use about 300 grams of the main colour and about 100 grams or less of the contrast colour. Obviously I'm holding it with mohair as well, so that does increase the price of the project a little bit. But you could get, I think, a really nice, similarly fluffy effect from using another unspun yarn. There are several on the market, but I don't think any of them have got this really deep festive red. I think to get a similar effect, if you want a better price point, something like Drops Njord might work well for this. It'd be a good weight for this project. So anyway, I'm going to finish this. I've got about 2 rows left of the colour work to do before I split for sleeves, and then it's just stockinette all the way. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing this sweater and being able to wear it over the festive season. There are so many wonderful size inclusive festive patterns out there. The first one that springs to mind is from Skein, and I think it's just called the Festive Yoke Pullover. I'll put a little picture of it up here. But yeah, if you're looking for a size inclusive sweater, now that one there is all over colour work, but there's absolutely no reason why you have to do that. pick out the motif you like and just make the yoke in the colour work if that's what you want to do. It looks to be a really customisable pattern. Is definitely something that I would think about knitting in the future. On the sort of topic of size inclusive patterns, I recently found an account on Instagram called I think it's called the Size Inclusive Collective, and it's run by a lovely person called Autumn who curates size inclusive patterns, and it's just really nicely done, and it's a really good place to have a look for patterns that include all bodies. So that's what I'm doing. These are the two colours, and I'm almost there, so fingers crossed by the next episode I will have finished this, because I want to wear it. It would be lovely to wear this. I'm using, I apologise, I've got paper bags in here, so I apologise if it's very noisy. Let's find it. Sorry. This is the Ito that I'm using, and this colour is NU, I think it's called. 0311 is the colour, and it's this beautiful deep red. This is one of my favourite mohairs. It's incredibly soft. It's really, really gorgeous. It's not the cheapest in the world, but you're getting a beautiful product for it. But yeah, so I'm using that and then some beigey colour as well. All of the details of all the yarns and things I'm using are all linked down below, as are my Ravelry pages. Yeah, I do apologise. This is literally the first time I've looked at this in a year, so I'm trying to remember what's going on with it at the same time as talking about it, which is fun. So yes, that is going to sit next to me now, and hopefully I'll finish that in the next couple of weeks. And while I'm on the subject of pulling out hibernating WIPs, I'm getting my Moomin socks back out again. So last year I finished one Moomin sock. This is from the book Knitted Moomin Socks, I think it is. I'll put it down here. And I couldn't not make this. I've adapted the pattern slightly, so I'll put a picture up here of what the original pattern looks like. I didn't want a full length, knee length sock. I just wanted something to wear with my boots. And so I've adapted the pattern, and I've made absolutely no notes, and I'm going to have to try and work out what I did in this sock. I think what I've done is I've cast on the correct number of stitches, and it looks like I've decreased there, and I've added in my own little design there. So wish me luck. This one's finished. Haven't cast on the next one yet, I don't think. But, oh no, I did. Haha. Yay! I cast on the other one. Oh, and that's where my other Christmas stitch markers went. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I did cast on the other one last year, so I'm going to finish those as well. Yeah, last year it all went a little bit awry because of the error with that jumper. So I'm making this using Yavol and Filcolana Arvetta. So this is colour 977 Mazapan, I think, and I remember that because I always use this one as my contrast colour when I'm making colour work socks. It's such a good colour. And this is the main colour. This is Langyan Yavol, and it's really, I wish you could feel this. When I first bought this in another colour years ago, I was like, why does it feel so hard? And then I skeined up the first ball that I was using, and it's got reinforcement thread inside it for doing your toes and heels. So it comes with a little reel of reinforcement thread, which is rather marvellous. So I'm hanging on to these for adding on the details of the little Moomin faces and things. Because as you can see there, you've got a little Moomin, another one there. They don't have any eyes, so I'll add them on the eyes using the red. And yeah, this yarn is so soft. It's one of my go-to sock yarns, both of them, the Filcolana Arvetta and the Yavol. They're just so reliable, and they come in such a wide range of beautiful, beautiful colours. So yeah, another thing I'm going to finish. I'm feeling so excited and really energised about clearing the decks a little bit, getting ready for the sort of the festive knitting season. This is the first time in years that I haven't made gift knits. and it's quite liberating. I've actually got time to think about what I would like to knit for myself, and I actually went Christmas shopping a couple of weeks ago as well, which I haven't done in years. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So yeah, feeling really positive about what I'm going to be knitting on over the next few weeks. Okay, so the next thing to talk to you about is some weaving. So if you're not interested in this, please feel free to skip over. Whilst I'm talking, I'll put a little video up here of the process of weaving. So this was a kind of an informal commission. My parents have this towel rail in their kitchen where they have a looped tea towel. So it's on a, I don't know what you call it. It's seamed at both ends to make a big loop so that it's easy to dry your hands and things. So they've got a few that they have in circulation. And my mum bought, and you will have seen in the video, this really, really, really thick cotton yarn from, I think it's Sugar and Cream, the brand. And she had intended to make some tea towels or some dishcloths for it, but she found it quite hard on her hands to knit with. It's very thick yarn. So when I was at home last, I think it was in the summer, we'd already talked about it and I had a look at it and I thought, do you know what, that will be perfect for weaving. I will make you a new tea towel, a big loop tea towel to go in the kitchen in like Christmassy themed colours. So I did it. And here is the finished tea towel. So as you can see, it's a big loop. And you can see how thick this is. So I had the red and the multicoloured yarns, the cotton yarns. So I made some nice stripes in the red, and then I filled it in between with the colour changing yarn. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's going to make it's made a great tea towel. I've got to be honest, it would make a nice floor rug as well because it's so thick. The only problem that I had was how to seam the ends. So I wanted to put some tape on, some cotton tape, and to top stitch it with the sewing machine. Because it was so thick, it was really, really difficult to get a neat top stitched edge through, but you know, so many layers of fabric because it's that side and that side. So I need to try and work out a more effective way of doing that that's a bit neater. But I showed my mum and she was absolutely fine with it. It's been through the washing machine, so any red that's going to come out of it, probably has. So yeah, I did a nice big weaving project. And at the moment, my loom is empty, but I've got 2 projects I'm going to be starting. Hopefully I'll set the loom up today for the first one. The only things that I'm making for people this year are 2 weaving projects. And weaving is so much quicker than knitting. I'm really not worried about that. It takes about half a day to dress and start, to dress the loom and to start a new weaving project when I'm doing a big full size project. And then another maybe 2 4-hour sessions of weaving to get it done. So yeah, looking forward to starting another couple of weaving projects. I can't remember what episode it was. In a previous episode I showed setting up my loom. So I went on a weaving course for 2 days when I was in Amsterdam earlier this year, and on the back of that I bought an Ashford rigid heddle loom, and I love it. It's brilliant. It's opened up a whole new way to use my yarn, and I'm really excited about sort of doing more with it in the future. But I treated myself to a stand for it, just because ergonomically it's just easier to use than when it's sitting on the table. Yeah, just really enjoying using it. It's just I've been so focused on this project, I haven't done anything else, which is a shame. But hoping to rectify that in the next few days. So there we go. That's a weaving project to show you. We are on to Irresponsible Purchases, and in the last episode I mentioned to you about a new book that was coming out from Lina, and it arrived. It's beautiful. I'm a sucker for these books. I really need to knit from them all, but anyway. So this is a new book that's inspired by the work of Tove Jansson, who was the creator behind the Moomins. I love all things Moomins. I've got lots of little Moomins dotted around behind me. It's why my channel is called Made by Moomino. because I was introduced to the Moomins by my primary school teacher, Mr. Ladd, many, many years ago. How old would I have been? 7, 8, something like that. Anyway, at the end of the school day, he used to read to the class for like 10 minutes before the bell went. And so we worked through the Moomin books and the Hobbit and all sorts of different things. So I just fell in love with the Moomins. And as I've got older and learned more about the writer and her life and everything, I love all things Moomins. I think they're marvellous. So I couldn't resist when a Moomin themed book came out. And the patterns in it really are very beautiful. So I will take you through a few of them. Oh, this is Tove Jansson at Midsummer, swimming in the water outside her little cabin. But yes, there are some absolutely gorgeous patterns in here. I mean, look at this one. Those adorable little Moomins. Now, if Moomins aren't your thing, it's still a really delightful cardigan. So there's something in here for everyone, even if you're not a massive fan of the Moomins. Let me show you a better picture of that cardigan. It's so gorgeous. Just a really nice boxy fit. There's loads of charts in here. Always, as always, with these liner books, beautiful photography. There's another beautiful, make sure I'm not showing you the pattern. Beautiful drop shoulder V-neck jumper there as well. That's a better picture. Oh, it's really hard to show books. So the theme of this seems to be very loose, comfortable, comforting knits. Let me show you. There's a little bit of colour work. I think the best way to have a look at all of these pictures is to have a look on Ravelry, and then you can see all of the contents of the book in one go. It's much easier to look through, I think. This is a beautiful jumper here. This one's called the Inner Moomin. I love the different textures on that. And it looks like a really interesting way to use up some scrap yarn as well. So I think I might have a go at making that one. There's another beautiful mohair jumper there. So all of these seem to be size inclusive patterns as well. This one now that I've just shown you, this one goes up to a 71 inch or 177.5 centimetre bust. And the sun's come out again as well, which is nice. There's some socks in here. Little Moomin house. But the pattern that I absolutely fell in love with, that I really, oh gosh, this book is so heavy. Right, the pattern that I really fell in love with, there were two patterns in here, one of which might be a bit difficult to show you. Oh, actually, no, I have to show you that one as well. A beautiful giant cable. And all the way through there's all these little illustrations, little original illustrations as well. They're just delightful. It just brings me so much happiness. Right, what am I trying to find for you? I'm trying to find, there's a slip over in here that I absolutely loved. Oh, I'll show you that one as well, with duplicate stitched clouds all over it. It's a really love this book. There's a, where is it? I really should have put markers in here as well. Ah, there we go. I love this slip over. It's really plain and simple. So it's yeah, it's worked from the top down with a slightly cropped hem, and I think it'd be really easy to wear with different outfits. So it's got this kind of cable look to it, with a bit of a detail down the front. I love that, and I've definitely got some yarn in stash that would work really nicely with that. And the other one that I wanted to show you is, come on. Oh, That's so pretty as well. I'll have to show you that one too. Look at that, with the really pretty little summer flowers around it. That one's called Midsummer. That is what I wanted to show you. I showed it to you in the last episode as well. It's a beautiful poncho, and it just looks really, really soft and squishy. It's so the description says it's a seamless, easy to knit poncho worked in 2 colours of blue clay yarn. Now I think this would work well in unspun, and I have some unspun in my stash that I think would work really, really well for this. So yeah, I want to knit that. Anyway, irresponsible purchase. I think it was definitely worth it. I think it was definitely worth it. Does that make sense? It was worth it. So yeah, another beautiful book that's going to live with my other beautiful books up there. And I will try and make myself knit something from this, maybe in the new year. So that is about it. I've got 2 more irresponsible purchases to show you, but I'm not going to open them yet. My advents arrived. The first one is a fibre advent from Wool and Twine. I haven't opened it yet. You have to wait until the first Sunday of Advent for me to open those, but I'll film myself opening them. And the other one is a Moomin themed yarn advent from Het Beast. Again, I haven't opened it. I'm really looking forward to doing this, and I will do this the weekend after next. I'm very excited. So I've never bought myself a yarn advent before for a couple of reasons. One, they can be quite expensive, and I don't have, you know, the wherewithal to do that, especially for yarn I don't know what it's going to look like. But also I find it quite stressful not knowing what the yarn is going to look like. I don't know what I want to make with it. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to be like, and it's a bit stressful. This yarn advent is from Het Beast, and it's Moomin themed. And when I saw it, I thought, what's the worst that can happen? I'll end up with a really, really beautiful blanket that I enjoy knitting. And that's not a bad thing, is it? So I got that one, and it wasn't too bad price-wise. And I went and picked that up from the lovely maker, Alexandra, a couple of weeks ago. And the other one from Wool and Twine is a fibre advent. And I've bought fibre from Hula of Wool and Twine before, and it's really lovely. And I like to have that little incentive to do some spinning. Honestly, I'm not sure I'm going to spin this during Advent. I might save it until Tour de Fleece next year. I'll see how I feel at the time, because I've got some other yarn that I'd like to spin up before that. So yeah, we will see. And if this feels like a real sort of, I don't know, out of my comfort zone. So I really, really hope that it's, yeah, I hope that everything's fine, and I don't feel overwhelmed by all the new things that I've suddenly got. But yeah, that's all I've got to talk to you about today in terms of irresponsible purchases. I haven't been to any yarn shows in the last couple of weeks, and no yarn shops or anything. But we do need to announce the giveaway winner. So I just wanted to say a really, really big thank you, because a few weeks ago the channel reached over 4,000 subscribers, which is just incredible, and something I genuinely never expected. I might seem very chatty and very extroverted, but especially with, you know, I'm trained as a teacher. But honestly, if I thought about the number of people that would be watching this, I'm not sure that it would, sound as smooth and as calm as I hope it comes across. I just imagine I'm talking to my grandmother. My grandmother taught me to knit. Sadly, she passed away a few years ago during the COVID pandemic. And I just imagine I'm talking to her, and that just makes it doable, and that just makes it, yeah, nice for me. I imagine I'm having a conversation with my grandmother. Oh God, start getting all emotional. But anyway, so I just wanted to say a really, really big thank you to all the lovely people who comment and being really supportive. So we did a little giveaway, and the winner will receive a €20 or equivalent gift voucher from the physical or online shop of their choice, wherever they are in the world. And I did the draw this morning, and here's a little video of me doing it, or here. And I'll put the winner down at the bottom here on the screen. So congratulations, and if you can contact me at my email, which is down in the description, madebymoomino@gmail.com, and we'll try and sort out your prize, and yeah, we'll work out where to get to your local gift voucher or online gift voucher from. So yes, and a huge thank you to everyone who commented on the last episode. I think that the vast majority of people said that autumn was their favourite season because we can wear on it, and yeah, makes absolute sense. So yeah, so thank you for that. Yeah, there's nothing else really to talk about other than it's so nice to have a little break from what's normal life to do this little podcast this week, because oh my goodness, I don't have a functioning kitchen at the moment. We to give some context, if I can choose between spending any spare cash that we have on yarn or something for the house, I'm always going to choose yarn. As long as things in the house work, not bothered. But we were really needed to change the worktop and sink in our kitchen because the sink, all the surface had gone, it looked awful, and it just really needed doing. So my partner is quite capable of doing that himself. He fitted our last kitchen, but we're just really busy, so we decided let's make life easier and get somebody else in to do it. Oh my goodness, it's been an absolute nightmare. So when they came to fit it, it was literally just changing the sink and putting a new worktop in. They've cut the holes in the wrong place, the sink isn't straight, the sink isn't sealed properly, they damaged the plumbing, they damaged the downpipe. Don't get me started. So here in Germany, it's an interesting situation. So we rent our flat, but in rental properties here, you have to put your own kitchen in. And I think that's just from a history of people rented often for their whole lives here, and it was just your home. Renters have lots of rights here. You're very protected as a renter. So people tend to stay in the same flat or house or whatever for their whole lives. So it makes sense to have your own kitchen and your own things there. But there's that other layer of things to think about when something like a downpipe, waste pipe has been damaged. Like, you have a landlord that needs to get involved as well. So, oh my goodness. It's been a long few days and lots of trying to make it work and eating sort of takeaway and, food that doesn't require lots of preparation and stuff. So it's nice to have a little break away from that just to talk about knitting. So there we go. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there today. As a result of everything that's been going on over the last week or so, there isn't any tour, unfortunately. But I hope you enjoyed a very short walk through the woods at the beginning, and there's another little clip of that at the end of this episode. And hopefully next time we'll be back to business as usual, and I'll be including a proper tour of somewhere. So anyway, have a lovely week and happy crafting. And yes, I will see you in a couple of weeks' time. Take care. Bye-bye.